I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to our channel here at Underdeveloped, and today we have another review for you guys. We're doing a review to Nobody 2, which is the sequel to Nobody. You saw that as one of our first films we watched out of COVID in theaters.
I think it was the first.
Probably. Yeah, that and like Wrath of Man and Massive Weight of
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was like that was like 2020. That was like 2022 or 23. That was well after that.
No, that's completely wrong. That I was like in 21.
No way.
That was one of our. No, you're 100% bugging. Maybe 22 at
22.
Best. Early 22.
April 22.
April. That's still pretty early into our freaking run.
That's still like a year after Nobody 1 came out.
Well, if we get technical, like less than a year. Yeah, okay, so Nobody 2 was directed by Timo Tjahjanto. He's done mainly, I'm not really familiar with his work, but he's done a whole bunch of horror films.
Yeah.
He did the sequels to VHS. He was one of the directors of the ABCs of Death. He did The Night Comes For Us, May the Devil Take You, and a bunch of other horror films.
Yeah, I have not heard of most of these either, so a lot of these are just like, this is like the biggest example of his work we've really seen is this one action movie he's done, Nobody 2.
Nobody 2 pretty much picks up, sometime after the first one. He is Hutch Mansell, the main character, played by Bob Odenkirk. He is working for, what's his name again? He's working for the barber, his handler, played by Colin Salmon. And he's pretty much working up to his debt because events of the last movie left him in huge debt that the barber covered, so now he has to pay that back. So he's still chipping away, mission after mission, and that's creating further alienation between him and his family. His wife, she doesn't really communicate, but she's obviously like not happy with this arrangement. But she sadly, chugs along. The son and the daughter are just doing their own things. Always like, he's never home, and he realizes that this is becoming a problem, especially after this last mission where this went off the rails. He's faced all kinds of threats from all directions, and he's like, I need a break. So he decides to take his family out to a place where he went when he was younger, where his father taking him to, Christopher Lloyd's. But it turns out that when he went on vacation, it actually was a cover-up for the father to do a mission, and that mirrors exactly what happens, because of course trouble always follows Hutch everywhere he fucking goes, and shit goes off the rails where he gets caught up because his town is apparently super corrupt, ran by corrupt sheriffs who are secretly drug pushers. And they work for Sharon Stone, who's a cold, ruthless bitch. And he comes in, gets tangled up because of a kid pushing the son of John Ortiz's character, pushing or fucking with his daughter, and then his son comes in, tries to stop the escalation, and then they end up getting into it, and then getting his arm hurt, and of course, other people got involved, like the people who run the spot, and it leads to a whole fucking brutal fight, and then of course, Colin Hanks is like very aware of this guy. He's like, who the fuck are you coming in doing creating a bunch of creating a bunch of ruckus, and they immediately don't like each other. And then, of course, that leads Hutchison to talk to John Ortiz, who explains how shit is ran out here. And then it doesn't get better from there because trouble follows again, because of course Colin's like, yo, fuck this guy, let's finish him. So he sends a whole bunch of cops out there and goons to kill him out when he's about to go on a boat trip with his family. Not boat trip, it's kind of like they're gonna do like a lake.
They're going to a deck boat.
Like a deck boat. I know what that kind of what was called, but yeah, it's like they're gonna basically do like a tour,
Yeah, going on the deck boat.
And of course they come and try to fuck shit up. So he has to separate from his family. He fucks them up, and then it doesn't end there. He ends up finding a hideout where they keep the money that they're supposed to pay Sharon Stone's character in, and he burns that up because they had the kid, because they can take John Ortiz's kid as leverage, because John Ortiz, his goal is that you think he's the main villain, but really he's just under Sharon Stone's thumb, because he inherited the sins of the father. So he has to so John Ortiz's character, he has to pretty much pay her back, and he's like, yo, we squared, I paid off. But of course in the mob, that shit never ends. You're always under the thumb, you know what I mean? So that leads her to make drastic turns, which is to get Colin Hanks to kidnap his son so he can teach him a lesson about who runs shit. And And so that, of course, leads to Bob Odenkirk's character, Hutch, to save him, you know what I mean, destroy shit, but of course creating an enemy out of a very dangerous person with Sharon Stone, who has money, influence, power, and deadly as shit, and ruthless. So, of course, now he has a whole huge problem out, you know, with a vacation with his family. That leads to very explosive, Home Alone, deadly booby traps kind of climax sequence.
Much like the first movie.
Yeah, similar to the first movie. Yeah. And of course, the father and RZA comes to help out because family always helps.
Yep.
And the family gets a little more involved.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much that. It's a double down on the first one, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because it's been a good time gap since the first one. So it's like kind of a good reintroduction into this world. You know what I mean? Into the stakes and the action sequences. And it's the overall, you know what I mean, like of protecting the innocent. It's always a dopamine hit. You know, to always see someone that's defending the weak, you know, protecting people, beating up the assholes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it feeds that itch, but it's still wildly entertaining. Very fun, interactive fight sequences.
Oh, definitely. The fight sequences are probably the best parts of this movie.
Easily, and then
very creative stuff.
Very creative. The use of like objects and shit like that. Yeah, it's pretty good. The fast camera angles, you know, the cutaways, you know, the following, the tracking of like the hand connect to the fist, the leg connect to the side, you know, like all that shit, you know.
Yeah.
It makes it interactive and very fun to watch, almost like a simulation. It's pretty cool. And then the climax with it, like booby trapping the entire amusement park to trap the killers, you know, and you have to kill them almost with that like a video game that you're watching, you know, like a third person shooter, which is, you know, pretty sweet. Yeah. I thought the plot was pretty solid, actually. You know, pretty straightforward, dope plot, you know. Him on vacation, getting caught up. I just wish they just brought it. The plot is good, but the storyline could have used a little bit of help with like more around Sharon Stone's character, a little more development on her. Probably another like sequence added on to the structure to add in more depth, because they had something really interesting. Because here's this person we thought was the main villain, who has the John Ortiz character. He's the sheriff, and he runs this drug syndicate, you know, and we think he's on top, but he realizes that he's just under the thumb of someone bigger, and also he's paying for his father's sins. That's a whole interesting dynamic. And then seeing Bob Odenkirk just trying to stay away from trouble, get involved in a huge freaking crime boss in those activities is a very interesting concept that you could play with. So they did do that to a degree, but it's a lot of, I think, missed opportunities that they could have explored.
Yeah, and And I think that a lot of the emotional plot that he has with his family, I think a lot of that just feels very unresolved by the end of it. Because, like, we're building up that his wife is keeping her feelings bottled up, that she hasn't told him about exactly how she feels about all this stuff yet, and that never really comes to a head fully.
Yeah.
It never really does. And, like, it still feels like we're on the beginning of a plot arc for his son and his daughter. His daughter does nothing in this movie. You could have taken her out, and literally nothing about the plot would have changed. Yeah, she's kind of there to be protected and stuff like that. I didn't mind her there. But yeah, I'm not gonna say she's like so vital, but yeah, she was there. She's a part of the family. She's the daughter. She's young. Yeah. The son had a lot going on. You know what I mean? Like dealing with his father not being around, but also, you know, getting the instinct that his father has, with just to protect people and hurt people, and that's also kind of pissing the mother off. She's like, yo, you know, you're not, you know, like he's trying to pick up after because he's seen the things you do, you know. So there's a lot of like unresolved tension between the two. But she kind of just almost forgives him by the end climax of the movie, because he's like, yo, maybe you should run away. You know, and because where I'm at is always destruction and chaos. You know, but she's like, "Nah, I married you. You know, you're my man. I'm gonna stay loyal." Yeah. So I guess that's the closest to kind of reconciliation that we got. It's the closest that we get, but it feels half-assed. But it's serious. It's like a cop out. Serious issues going on here, and it should cause a rift that maybe he had to repair by the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Like I think the whole movie's missing an entire like sequence, Same. It feels like the family plotline is just unfinished. Like, if they make it a third one, if they make it Nobody 3, then I very much hope that these continue into that movie and get resolved there, hopefully, because right now nobody too feels super fucking weird that brings up all these issues that are just not even really addressed properly by the end.
It should let us some like serious changes with like maybe a huge adjustment to his lifestyle, but they didn't really resolve that part of it. It's like, everything's hunky dory again. Great.
Yeah, I mean, like he still owes debt to the barber.
Yeah, so
he's still going to be doing a bunch of shit. He's probably still going to not be in their lives as frequently as they want.
I guess they had a little bit more understanding of it, but that's still going to create the similar issues that you were facing in this movie. So
like I don't see what's to stop it from happening again.
Like something drastic has to happen to really show the weight of the family, what he does, and how that put pressure on the family,
Yeah.
And it's a natural drama with its own natural consequences, and I think you had a right to explore it instead of sweeping it under the rug. And I felt Sharon Stone as a villain was very underused, cool, but underused a lot more than she could have done. But he kind of just roped into one big act, and it's like, fuck it.
Yeah. Same. Like, she was just kind of barely a presence until she showed up.
Yeah, she's been a consistent presence, a consistent foil. You have to keep battling each other, maybe different battles. And that's the first one that, like, because the first one was, like, it was different battles. It wasn't just, like, one thing. Like, he was a real threat that he had to get over. That's what also John Wick did. He was a consistent, the main villain was a consistent presence to get to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I felt that we missed that chase. We missed that earned moment. Because it kind of just everything just came to the head. I felt Colin Hanks played a way better role at being the antagonist in terms of like the way it was written.
Yeah, because he's around more.
Yeah, so he's a consistent foil, consistent threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Consistent wearing, consistent tension.
Yeah, and that's like that's the exact role he served up until he just got shot.
Yeah. Which I thought was. I didn't mind that decision because he was kind of cocky, and she obviously didn't give a shit about him. So
yeah, and even then, he didn't seem like particularly tough.
No,
so it's not like he would.
He did talk tough.
Yeah, he very much seemed like he was all bark and no bite.
Yeah,
like he couldn't really head himself against. So I don't mind him being killed off as soon as the climax started.
Sure,
I thought that decision was fine, but again, like it came at the cost of just having your main villain not be around as much as she probably should have been.
Yeah. Much more consistent presence. Maybe have something that connects it to maybe a shared past,
Maybe.
Or something, or maybe some kind of shared connection.
Maybe.
Could have made it a little interesting, a little more, like add more weight to it. It's missing something, but it still is a great ride,
Yeah, it's still a very fun ride. I'm not saying, don't watch the movie because of this, and this. Ultimately, in the end of the day, this is an action movie. It isn't a movie you're going to see for the drama, but since it brings up the drama, I very much wish it was handled and resolved better. But again, as I said, it's an action movie. A lot of people are going to be fine as long as the action scenes are good, and the action scenes are very fun here. Definitely,
and the plot is good enough to keep you interested. It's definitely a solid.
It's not like an awful plot or anything.
It's not awful at all. It's a very solid premise. They could have added some more. It's missing an element to it. That's really it.
Yeah.
But everything else is awesome. I think it's a very solid movie. And if you like the first one, you definitely love this one. You definitely have a good time. I say bring some friends, go out to theater, and just have a blast.
Yeah, this would be a fun. Yeah, this is a good popcorn movie just to do that with. Absolutely.
So my score for this, I say it's by 82.
I'm thinking about like a 78 because some of those issues kind of bug me probably a little too much. But again, this is still a really good movie. I think it's just a little bit worse than the first one because the first one just tells a more coherent story.
For sure.
But it's a pretty good duology so far, and I hope it ends up being a good trilogy overall.
I agree. Yeah, we're saying that, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. That'll probably be more reactions. And of course, we have more reviews coming out because there's a whole bunch of movies coming out.
Always are.
A lot. It's rough, but, we also love seeing movies. So. Yeah, so look forward to that. Look forward to more reactions. We have a lot of shows that we're covering at once. So we're going to be dropping those as quickly as can. And, of course, movies. Of course, Horror Month is going to come out in a couple months. So that's the whole big thing. That we have a whole spread of films that we're going to watch for that. So stay tuned for some reactions, guys.
Yep, like and subscribe, y'all.
Later.